so very much again for joining us today for our Lifestyle Spending Account webinar. My name is Andrea Howard. I am the Business Development Manager here with Omnify. So one of the big things that we are going to be looking at today when it comes to this webinar is, again, the lifestyle spending accounts. We've been getting a lot of questions this year on wellness reimbursement, lifestyle spending accounts. What are they? What can we do differently? How can we look at unique benefits? And so you've been asking, we're answering for you, and just really making sure that you feel comfortable and confident with what this benefit is and seeing if it is a good fit for possibly your employer. So to start off with, just want to give you kind of a quick testimonial that we have from already a current client of ours on what others are saying when it comes to the lifestyle spending accounts for a client who is actually using the plan and has been using it now for 2 years, and kind of what that experience looks like. And just obviously it's on the screen, but I just kind of want to point out that, here with Swanson Russell, they believe that it is a great resource for their employees. They've received a lot of feedback, and it really helps with that administration internally. And these are all different pieces that we are going to talk about in today's conversation. And just noting that real people truly are using these. Businesses here in Nebraska and across the US are adding these to their lineup to just give that different stance and just a different unique benefit. So starting off with the lifestyle spending accounts, what are they and where do they come from and why are they becoming so unique and so popular these days? One, they're nothing new. I can tell you that they have been around actually for several years. Historically, many times you would have heard them more as a wellness reimbursement, and they were going to be more focused on the gym membership and those kinds of pieces. Well, over the years, they really have expanded their horizon to allow a lot more options available to them. And the bottom line when it comes to a lifestyle spending account is it truly allows you, the employer, to look and support the employee's health and well-being and really allow you to provide a benefit that allows your employee to feel confident in their particular interests or their lifestyle. And so they can truly use these funds for something that is important to them. One of the things that we really always focus on, and I hear a lot these days, is we used to always hear a lot of one size fits all. And I'm going to tell you, one size fits one. And that one is your plan, your benefits. And with a lifestyle spending account, they can be 100% customizable or 100% customized to your likings, your values, what you want for eligible expenses. So it's not a type of account that just says, here, these are your options, go with it, roll with it, here you go. You truly can make it your own and what's important to your employees. I was in a session yesterday and found this to be a very impactful slide, and I wanted to share it. An HR expert was talking about employee engagement, and some of those things that they were really talking about during that focus was know your people and go beyond. And what that going beyond and knowing your employees and your people is that social aspect. What do they enjoy doing? What do they do outside of work? What brings them joy? Then on the mental and emotional, just checking in on them from day to day, just having a pulse on where's your team sitting at? How are they feeling? Is it a positive atmosphere? And just really feeling connected with your team. And then the financial piece. This was a big one because we were talking, and it can be as something as, hey, here's a $5 gift card. Go buy yourself a cup of coffee. We appreciate you. But also when you're looking at your employees' well-being, the lifestyle spending account is one that really falls under the financial aspect because, again, you're looking at the well-being of your employees and you're going and funding that on a financial aspect, providing those benefits to them. And then again, overall, when you're looking at your employee engagement, is the career well-being. Do they feel comfortable here? Do they see their career? What do they see in their future? And are they going to be that employee that you see loyalty in? And then the last one that when the employee engagement was that family focus. And this was just making sure you had that good pulse on, again, what is going on with your employees? How is that family handling things? Have you ever reached out to a spouse to say, "Hey, thank you for, just wanted to let you know, thank you. I know your spouse was working a lot of extra hours or traveling right now." So I just really felt that to be very impactful because it ties into the lifestyle spending accounts so incredibly much. So let's dive into really what a lifestyle spending account is. So again, one of the big things is it can truly help employers help retain and attract top tier employees. So this is that unique benefit we were talking about. When you're looking at, obviously you have your insurance benefits, your dental, maybe your HSA, your FSA, short-term disability, all those pieces that go into your benefit lineup. But now you are also competing against how many other companies or how many other industries to make sure that you are one, getting the right employee in the door, keeping that employee, not just a few months, but long term. That LSA is another benefit that can really help them retain because they like the unique benefit. Always note an employer, the LSA, it is employer funded 100%, and it is also a post tax benefit. The reason I bring these two items up is, employer funded, you as the employer get to decide how much do you want to fund into the LSA each year. And we'll dive into that here in a few minutes as well. But the post-tax piece is it's not like the HSA, it's not like the flexible spending account or the dependent care, it's not on a pre-tax basis. But the benefit of doing that is on the post-tax is there's not the compliance issues that we take into consideration and have to look at on an annual basis with those tax advantage accounts. So it does give a lot more flexibility. One, when you're looking at what are the funds being used for, how much are you giving it to, and what is the eligibility when you're looking at this benefit. So when you're looking at the eligibility, we of course want to make sure that you're not being discriminatory in nature, but you do have that opportunity to say, you need to be here for X amount of time before you are eligible. Or I'm going to give $500 to employees who have been here for less than 5 years, and I'm going to give $1,000 to employees who have been here 10 years or less, or however kind of you want to go ahead and take that factor and weigh that standard practice in place. So it gives you a lot more flexibility. We will dive in to that eligibility list here next on how you can really customize it to be your own. And again, you can have a very wide range of expenses. So when you're looking at this, one of those benefits is supporting your employees' health and well-being. Just like I said a couple slides ago, is making that connection with your team, with your employees. It doesn't matter if you have 10 employees or 2,000 employees. Offering this kind of a unique benefit really does allow them to have that connection because it is something that is different. Not all companies are offering it, and it allows you to set yourself apart on how you care for your employees. One of the other back end side of things is it really truly reduces the administrative burden. And when you're coming to the administrative burden, think about whether that's you having to do that day-to-day operation or someone on your team. They are looking at the payroll side of things. They're looking at the claims side of things. Many times companies will have a gym reimbursement that they do in-house and they keep track of, and you have someone that keeps track of that and cuts a check every month. You may do a clothing reimbursement or a stipend that if employees need to have certain work clothing or shoes, that you go ahead and you reimburse yourself that $200 every single year, and someone administers that internally on a very manual process. Equipment, those different types of things, student loan reimbursement, whatever those different products that maybe you guys possibly are already doing in-house and they're just one-off programs. A lot of companies are looking to administer and bring those all in under one umbrella. And you can have, for example, Omnify administer that benefit, taking that additional burden off of your team. So currently, 37% of employer groups actually already offer the lifestyle spending account, but over 70% are looking to add it to their benefit lineup. And so this is a value that we are seeing more and more on a regular basis that people want to add, and they're looking at their budget and they're being proactive when it comes to what is another benefit we can offer. The great thing about a lifestyle spending account is that even though those funds are post tax, you, the employer, have that full control on how you set the plan up. The other nice thing, though, is truly if an employer does not use these dollars, they lose those dollars. So they stay with the employer. So you, the employer, get to make the eligible expense options available. Employees get to use this wonderful, amazing benefit. But again, at year end, if they have not used or spent all their funds, those dollars still stay with that employer. One thing I want to point out before we move to the very next slide is really going back up to that very first point about retaining and attracting those employees. So I will let you know a recent survey from SHRM actually stated that the cost of an average new hire is $4,129, and administrative, and that accounts with administrative training and expenses, and it takes on average 42 days to fill a position. Now, when we're looking at unique benefits, I know there's another statistic that I use that says, if you are using these unique benefits, something like an LSA, that actually can increase loyalty to an employer by 70%. So when you're looking at those at the bottom dollar and those numbers and what you're wanting to look at long-term opportunity for your employees, retaining that employee is huge, and offering something different up front can really help you be successful long term. Lifestyle spending accounts. Again, many times people think historically as just the gym reimbursement, which is absolutely correct, but they can go so much further and beyond than gym reimbursement or the fitness equipment. You can have recreational, you can have the auto maintenance. So you could say, I want my employees to feel safe when they're driving to work every day, and they have that ability that if they need to spend money to update their tires, to get an oil change, they just needed some kind of maintenance, I'm willing to put money towards to ensure their safety comes first when they're driving to and from work. You also have that option of work attire, work equipment. This is where that administrative burden can really help with an employer, because if you're already doing something on a manual basis internally for work attire, let Omnify take that administration for you and make it easier. We'll talk about what that reporting looks like and how that administrative burden really does come into play here shortly. One of the big things you're seeing, nutrition subscriptions and financial wellness. One of the big things, and there's so many more things that you can see outside of that as well. But one thing that the lifestyle spending account does for employees is we talked about their well-being and their personal interests. But I always remind employees and coworkers that I have very different interests than my other coworkers do. What's important to me may not be important to them, or what I do for my job may not be what they have requirement or what a requirement is for their job. And I'm going to use the work equipment as an example. If you work for a company that steel-toed boots is an absolute requirement for 50% of your staff because they are in the field and they need that, and they need, $200, $250 every year to buy those new boots, that is something that you can have under the lifestyle spending account, and that can be used for that employee. But if I'm also your employee and I'm in the office and I do the day-to-day back-end work, or I'm doing the administration things, I may not need those steel-toed boots. But if it is under the lifestyle spending account, and now something that would benefit me is work attire that I could have as logo apparel, and I could use that and I could sport that at work or when I'm going out grocery shopping, and that's important to me, I have that ability to spend that exact same funds on something that will benefit my well-being. Another example I do for different employees looking at is, again, some individuals love going to a gym. They want to be in person in the gym. Other people say, I don't enjoy it. I want to go run on the country road that costs me nothing, but something that brings me joy or helps my wellness is a massage once a month. Or how I relieve stress is using a gaming console, and I that's how I work out. Just kind of different things going on throughout my day. So it truly does allow you to expand outside of what you think a wellness or a lifestyle spending account really could be. The national average, I will tell you, for the lifestyle spending account on an employer contribution is $750 per year. We have employer groups that do from $250 per year to $3,000 with Omnify. But like I said, that national average is $750 currently. This is the most information on the slide I have, so I do apologize, but I wanted to go with those different examples and really show you that what you could be focusing on and what is important to your employees. We have some employer groups that truly will poll their employees and say, I want you to take this survey and I want to know what's important to you and what can we do and what kind of benefits would be different and what would you be interested in. And this can come from truly, it could be memberships to the gym, to entertainment. So entertainment could include, if you're looking locally, it could be a theater, it could be productions. When you're looking at other finances that you know you're going to have ongoing, you're looking at utilities or Wi-Fi. Home improvement is one that could be incredibly huge. That home improvement could include like lawn care, snow care, sprinkler systems, anything along those lines could all technically fall under that yard maintenance home improvement. When you're looking, we already talked kind of about the gaming side of things and that auto maintenance. Financial webinars or memberships. So now you're looking at, you could do seminars for more on the personal side, the professional side, the spiritual side, whatever would make sense for your employees. We also have groups that do, for example, really focus on their park passes. They want their employees to be out in nature and wanting to go ahead and focus on how do you be outside every day, or just different things like that on the park passes or the fishing license, hunting license, those kinds of things. Then last here, kind of at that bottom, you have other ones too, is from house cleaning, meal prep, pet care. Pet care is important, and people, of course, their pets are their family. And if there were funds that could be used towards their benefits, do it and allow your employees to have these funds that they can pick and choose and benefit from. When you're looking at this eligible expense, you always want to make sure that something to take into consideration is, well, how many eligible expenses am I going to offer my employees? So when you are creating this benefit for the first time, Omnify actually works very closely with you to really kind of hone in on that pieces of information and focus on, where do you sit today? What are your goals? What are your values? What is your mission? And how can we help expand that for you when focus on your LSA and expand this benefit? I will tell you, many times when this is a very first offering, 10 eligible expenses or less are a very nice, well-rounded number because it gives employees a nice variety, but it's for them to be able to choose and pick and find something that's important to them. But at the same time, when you go too broad, it can be a little overwhelming for them to pick and choose. So those are some things to take into consideration there. The other thing that Omnify really focuses on is on the administration side of things. And I know this was a question that just came in, is, how does that work with your W-2? And that all comes into play with your reporting. So just like I said at the beginning, a lifestyle spending account is a post-tax benefit. And with that being a post-tax benefit, let's say that each employee gets that $750. Those dollars can be funded all at once at the beginning of the year or the beginning of your plan year. It can be broken down on a quarterly basis, monthly basis. It's personal preference to you, the employer. But what you can expect on the Omnify side is you will be able to receive a monthly report that gives you anyone who has submitted claims throughout that last month and claims have been processed and we have sent payment to them for an approved claim. You're going to get a reconciliation report that tells you exactly what was spent, so then you can tax their payroll accordingly. And so that is that post-tax benefit. We send that report back to you so you can go ahead and get that updated for W-2 and tax purposes there. So that is a big piece that you always want to focus on there. The other question that actually just came in as well was, do we get to define what's ineligible, or is this an IRS definition of ineligible? Great question. So another one is absolutely, you get to define what is eligible, and you also get to define what is excluded or ineligible. And that is something Omnify will actually work with you on. The one I love to use is I always kick on the shoes, right? And for example, if you say work attire or work shoes are an eligible expense, well, I can look at that very differently and say, does that mean steel-toed boots are eligible expense, or can I buy myself a new pair of stilettos? Obviously we're going to say it has to be work attire, or it has to be this specific piece, and this is excluded. Another thing to look at is, let's say, fitness equipment. Something that some companies have actually chosen to do is allow or make ineligible as second-hand fitness equipment. They'll say, yep, we don't care if an employee goes on the marketplace and actually buys a new treadmill that's supporting their physical health, that's supporting their mental health. We love it and we're okay with that. And as long as they can provide that receipt showing that they spent those dollars and it's a second-hand piece, we're okay with that. Other companies will say, nope, it needs to be new, and that's just our standard. That is okay. Another one we look at is when you're looking at fitness equipment, again, for example, or accessories, let's just say, is that running shoes again? Is that fitness shoes? Can it only be that, or could it be any kind of shoes across the board? And so we absolutely help you define, but also make sure that we help exclude any specifics that you really want to focus on. If there's ever a gray area, and believe me, when employees do, they try to push the limit a little bit, and that is okay. If there's ever a gray area, we always refer back to the employer to ensure that it truly is an expense that the employer wants to offer and allow. Two great questions. Thank you so much. Please keep those coming as we wrap up here in a few minutes there. But this is just one of those benefits that really allows you a lot of flexibility. Like I said, we don't have to be as concerned because it is that post-tax benefit that we don't have to worry as much on the compliance side. As long as you have that standard practice in place, you are looking at funding it consistently for those employees based upon eligibility or years of service. But you can see, and this is not an exhausted list. I like to point that out, that if there was something else that you had that said, I would love my employees to have the opportunity to do this, we absolutely can look at that and adding that into the lifestyle spending account. This is just kind of a list of examples to get the ideas going and for you to take that into consideration there. Great questions on there, everyone. As we continue to wrap up, the biggest thing is the lifestyle spending account, like I said, is a wonderful benefit that employees are wanting it because they love the idea and the opportunity of saying, you see me, you value me. And what on the employer side is, again, just like I said at the beginning, it's no longer one size fits all. It's one size fits one, and that can be customized to your employees, what their values are, what they like, what their preferences are, to really lean in on their well-being when it comes to that. If you have additional questions when it comes to the lifestyle spending account, we are more than happy to always discuss in more detail. What is your current situation? What do you currently do in-house that is an administrative burden? Could that truly help in some kind of a situation there that we could combine multiple benefits under one to really help on that day-to-day operation. And again, right, if you're looking and saying, well, I don't get this benefit because it's not something I use, but I do have the option. I love this piece, or I love being outdoors, or I love massages. All of those pieces can really come into play, allowing your employees to say, thank you. I love this benefit. I use this benefit, and I'm going to continue using this benefit because I see value in it. As a reminder, if you do have those questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to your dedicated relationship manager. You can also always reach out to myself, Andrea. I am more than happy to discuss in more detail. And I know you have seen our leadership email. And so you can always reach out to our leadership at omnifybenefits.com, and we will all be able to assist you. As a reminder, other benefits that we service under one roof are our health savings accounts, our flexible spending accounts, that wellness reimbursement or lifestyle spending account, and COBRA administration. We also do that Section 125 plan document creation and non-discrimination testing for our employers. And so if there are, beyond the services of just the LSA, if there is a service that you have been interested in or you have additional questions, we would be more than happy to assist with those.